Hi, my name is Mariah Szarek, and I'm with Benchmark IT. I'm the Director of Recruiting here, and I'm also joined by the President, John Bemis. And today we're going to share our insights on AI interviewing. We implemented an AI interviewing tool earlier this year in Q1, so we thought it's a good time to check in, share our insights, and share what we've learned so far.
Hey, that's great, Mariah. I'm John Bemis, president of Benchmark IT, and happy to talk about this. It's been a really eye-opening experience over the past 9 or so months. So we first heard about this AI interviewing about a year ago. In fact, our TechServe conference is coming up next week in Florida, but last year's conference in Phoenix, we had several demos of AI interviewing. And before then, it really wasn't anything people were talking about. But two vendors came to the conference and exhibited, this AI interviewing platform, their platform. And I came back from the conference just thinking this could really, really change things by allowing us to, um, get more people to interview and get to good candidates faster. So we jumped on the opportunity to do some deep dive demos with a couple different suppliers, and we found one which was called A Priora, which is now called Alex, which did video interviewing, and we like that because we've always been a interview everybody in person kind of company, and we didn't want to just hear someone talk. We wanted to see how they present, etc. So the video interviewing appealed to us. So we did a pilot with A Priora Alex, and we were happy, and we decided to go forward with a 1 year contract. So we are now about 9 months in. We've done several thousand interviews, and it's going well. So that's kind of how we got here. So, but Mariah, why don't you talk a little bit about the issues, and the problems we set out to solve, basically.
Yeah. So one of the main problems we experience as recruiters is we receive a high volume of applications to each of our open roles, and it's almost impossible for us at times to get through them. At times we get hundreds or even thousands of applicants. So when we heard this tool can help us give each one of those candidates an opportunity to interview for the role and for us to be able to get more information about those candidates, it was sort of a no-brainer. So that's what we've been excited about so far, and we feel like it gives an opportunity to the candidates to further describe their qualifications for the role, other than what's on their resume. So we're still pretty excited about it 9 months in, and we're excited for what's to come as well. Um, but as John said, it helps us get to candidates more quickly. Um,
And I think too, I'd just like to add, there's only so much time in a day for every recruiter, and you want to have as many positive conversations in a day as possible. So what we were faced with is, we would have a lot of conversations set up in a given day, but at the end of the day, maybe a lot of them just didn't turn out to be good fits for the position. A lot of times, maybe the candidate didn't know what they were applying for, but they applied real quickly because it's so easy to apply these days. So we were, out of, let's say, 6 or 7 planned calls, there would only be one or two, sometimes none, that were really, helping us get closer to the target. So um, we want our recruiters, and we want to, and also the candidates aren't that happy when they have an interview that for an off the mark kind of position. So we thought, gosh, if we can go from having 1 out of 7 calls be a good call to having 3 or 4 or 5 calls be really productive because we've had better initial screening. Can we use this AI interviewer to do good initial screening? And that's really was a problem that we wanted to tackle, and that we've been trying to solve with in this first phase, this first year of using AI interviewing. So do you want to talk a little bit, Mariah, about how the whole process works and how the platform works?
yeah. So once a candidate applies to one of our open jobs, they will get an invitation to interview with our AI recruiter, Alex. And when they get invited to interview, the interview is a customized series of questions that the recruiter handpicked or wrote from scratch. So it's all very relevant to the job. It's not auto-generated questions. It's questions that we would have asked if were doing an initial screenings ourselves. So very a relevant interview, and after they complete the interview, we will get a score, saying how the interview went. And the cool thing about the score is it's not a one size fits all approach. We're able to actually go in and assign weights to each skill. So, for instance, if we have a job for a Java developer and Java is a required skill, we'll put a higher weight on that. But let's say React is just a nice to have, we'll put a lower weight on that. So that way it's not a one size fits all and people aren't improperly being screened out. So we really enjoyed that. And aside from the interview side of things, there also is a resume fit score where the recruiters, as soon as an application comes in, we will get a score based upon how well the resume aligns with the job description. So that also is something we have control over and we're able to assign weights to. So people again aren't improperly getting screened out. So that's been super helpful and still helps us maintain control and really all relevant to the job. Nothing that's auto generated or that we didn't hand choose ourselves. So that's been really great.
That's great. And how would you say the candidate experience has been so far?
Yeah, to our surprise, it's actually been very positive. When we first implemented the tool, we weren't really sure how candidates were going to react, but it's been overwhelmingly positive. After each interview, they get an invitation to complete a survey asking about their experience and provide feedback. And, I would say probably 1 out of every 10 maybe has something constructive to say, but the majority of them say that they are surprised pleasantly and that this is their first interaction with AI and it wasn't a good one overall. So I would say that's been super encouraging for us. And I will say too that candidates have appreciated the accessibility of the tool. They don't have to go back and forth scheduling with a recruiter, and they're not limited to just business hours. They're able to take an interview with Alex any time of day, whether that's late evenings or early mornings that work better for their schedule. So, seems like that's also been a positive for them as well.
Yeah, I think that's a big plus. The fact that we can, you know, basically work 24/7, and we come in the morning, you've got a new batch of candidates that have been graded and those that have taken the interview, and you can kind of quickly zero in on who you'd like to reach out to.
Absolutely. So, and then one thing too is that we have a team member and the benchmark team assigned to candidates, so they're available to speak to our contact any time of the interview process. So that's also helpful and keeps the process going pretty seamlessly. Because at any time, if they run into any issues, whether it's technical issue or they have questions or concerns, there's a benchmark team member that they have direct access to that could get those questions or concerns resolved.
Right, right. We've been very, we're a high touch company, and we've been very concerned all along that we're not looking to put a process between us and the candidates. We want this to draw us to the candidates faster, especially where there's a good fit. And but it's a new technology, and not everybody's comfortable. So we survey everybody if they've been invited to interview and they haven't interviewed, they get a quick ping, and they get the opportunity to say why they didn't take it. And we're trying to be sensitive. If someone says they're not comfortable with the format, we look at that person and we will often reach out to them and try to have an in-person meeting. We just don't want to put an AI or a machine between us and the candidates for the wrong reasons. So, but I have to say, I've been very happy with the results so far. We've had several placements that we've made where the whole process went as planned. So from application to invite to interview, we reviewed the interview. We got excited about the person, more excited than probably if we had just looked at a resume, because we can see that they communicate well and that they just seemed like a potential good fit. So we immediately scheduled an interview. Uh, we liked them. We did another interview. We always do a second video interview with the candidate, with our account executive. We do that process, submit to the client, interview. We've even had some clients want to see the video interview, which we can make that happen with our platform. So, but all in all, we've made several placements full life cycle, and we're still working to refine the process and make it run a little bit better. So, so far so good.
Yeah, and what has been the impact on clients so far?
Well, I think they're intrigued. Number one, and the ones that we have shown like video snippets to. I mean, our clients generally trust us because they know from the past that we, video interview everybody, and we're not just sending people that we had a quick chat with. But they know that this is an extra opportunity that we've had to get to know these people, and we've sent some video snippets over for them to review. I don't know if we'll always do that, but it's an option in the system. Again, we don't want to slow down any process. So, but overall, I think clients have been happy. Anything that gets the right candidates to them faster and helps them evaluate and move their process faster is good for everybody.
Absolutely. So yeah, throughout this time, we definitely has been an iterative one. We have lessons that we've learned throughout the time, so we could shed a little bit of light on those. Um, so basically, I found that so far, the more time and effort you put into the tool, the more you will get out of it. So I found that that theme is carried through this entire time, and I bet it will continue to. So some actions we took in the beginning when we first implemented the tool is we actually added a web page on our website that described who Alex is, what it's going to be doing, and what the benefits are to the candidate. Because we realized that when invites went out, people might wonder, who's Alex? And so we tried to get ahead of those things. We've definitely, have learned other things too. Another one for us is that, the data is just as good as we make it. So we want to make sure that our job descriptions, our interview questions, those are all on point and accurate. So that way the grading and the scoring also, will follow suit and be accurate. So it really helped us raise our game in that regard as well.
Yeah, and I would say that we didn't get to this point without many hours of work with the vendor, with Alex, with the company Alex. They've been terrific as far as being responsive, and I think but you have to be willing to put the time in to implement these tools, because it's software. There are bugs, but the company Alex has been able to make changes very quickly. There's a phrase, flying the plane while building it. And literally that's been true, but the platform is so much more advanced and flexible and customized for our workflow now than it was when we started. That the I would say that the proof of that internally is that our recruiters really like the platform, and that can't be said for every piece of technology we've ever attempted to use. So I think the process is here to stay. Uh, Candidate and client feedback's been good so far, and Alex continues to add more features to the platform. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about the portal.
Yeah, so one of the latest features that's been added to their platform is this practice portal. So this portal could be used by candidates to go in and access hundreds of practice interviews in varying skill sets. They're also able to utilize the AI resume scoring tool. So they're able to upload their resume and get real-time feedback on how they can improve their resume, just generally. And then they also could do it more specifically if they upload the job description and their resume. They're able to see how their resume aligns to the job, what are some gaps, and get that real-time feedback. So we're hoping that that results in more candidates getting comfortable and more people taking the interviews after they get invited.
Right. And one thing I neglected to mention before, but another benefit to all of our candidates of doing these video interviews is that all the information goes right into our applicant tracking system. A transcript of the call, a link to the actual call, fields are automatically updated in our database, so that let's just say that a position is filled and we've had 50 interviews for it. We'll be able to find those candidates much faster going forward, because we've got richer data about the candidates in our system already. So even if you don't get an interview, like an in-person interview, or the job closes out or whatever, it's worth doing the interview, because next time we look up a resume in the system and then we see, oh, that person did a video interview, we can do a quick look and get to that. We'll get excited about that person even faster, because we know a lot more about them. We don't have to wonder, should I call them or not, just based on what the resume looks like. So I think that's going to be huge. And there's a bunch of other, we're doing other AI initiatives within the company, we're implementing a couple different ways to do natural language search in the database. We have a note taker that we use that everybody uses that for every meeting that gets information into the system a lot better. That's a real great use of AI. Um, what else? I feel like I'm leaving one thing out. Um, Another AI piece that we're doing. Well, our overall, Bullhorn, our ATS system is implementing their own AI as well and putting features in there all the time. So, um, this is all just ways for us to get to to provide better service to our clients and serve our candidates faster.
Absolutely. So I figured we can maybe end it by just describing what our message would be to candidates or clients that are interested in the tool, or anyone who may be in the same industry as us interested to learn more about the tool. And I just want to end it by saying that if you're a candidate and if you get invited to an AI interview, I would think of it as a supplemental opportunity to further describe your qualifications for the role. I know it's a little nerve-wracking. We're not used to communicating with an AI recruiter, but I do think it's beneficial and will ultimately help you stand out and can help you get, identified more quickly if you're a good fit for the role.
That's great. And for clients interested in how it works and how we use it, I just say give us a call when we work on a new position for you. We're using this on all of our searches now, and I'm happy to be very transparent and walk you through the process and share video snippets of the candidates that we like, et cetera. So we're very open here at Benchmark, and we are looking forward to the conference next week, where we'll meet up with the Alex team and our other peers in the industry that are all all trying different things to do a better job of serving candidates and clients.
I'm definitely excited to see what other tools are out there and looking forward to the conference next week.
Great. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.